Hello again, this is my second video and this mission is called Break from Cragscleft Prison, which is the second mission of Thief Goat. Like I promised, I'm going to mention if there's any difference with the Dark Project version of the game. No, both users of Goat and the project can use this video as a reference guide since there's no difference between the missions. The story behind this mission takes place right after the first mission. When Garrett steals Baford's scepter and leaves the mansion, he goes to seek his friend Cutty, only to find that Cutty is being imprisoned by the Hammerites in their facility of Cragscleft. So, like the title states, Garrett's going to break Cutty out in order to collect the money for the scepter or for the buffer job. Now, I think I forgot to mention is that if you're a new player to Thief, I would really advise you to try the missions on your own before attending to any guide. In this way, guys, you won't spoil your fun and you'll be better familiar with the maps anyway. So what is interesting about the Cragscleft mission is that you will have your first encounter with the undead here. Also, you will have your first encounter with the Hammerites, which are much more organized and fearsome fighters than the Bafford Guard. Of course, you will have some new pieces of equipment, which we're going to cover as soon as we go to the shop area. But before that, I would like to say a few words about the mission objectives and the mission itself. Your first objective is to find your way through the mines and into the prison. The mines are haunted and you'll have your first encounter with the zombies there, but they're actually not that fearsome fighters as many people think they are. You see, once we are inside the prison, you have to locate three specific characters. The first one is Cutty, your fence. You have to break him out of the prison. The second one is Basso, the boxman. He is a famous name present in Thief 2. Also, I've seen him in a lot of fan-made missions. You have to break him out as well. Something related with Garrett and Basso's sister. And the third character is Iced. You don't need to break him out. You just need to find him and take back your lucky hand of glory, which is an artifact. So this is an artifact hunt objective. The mission requires on expert difficulty that you steal 1000 worth of valuables. We are going to rob the whole place, which is exactly 1688 loot in total. And of course you don't have to kill anybody. And once your objectives are complete, leave the prison with Cutty and Basso. Now, let's take a look at your starting gear. Your broadhead arrows are more than enough. You would probably only need them to kill the spider at the bottom of the elevator shaft. You have a new piece of equipment, the noisemaker arrow. Its name speaks for itself. It's a good friend in emergency situations as it distracts patrols in the other direction while you sneak past them. Your water arrows in this mission are your only means of attack you have against the undead, so they are your downside. I would suggest that you buy as much water arrows as you can, or you can buy the whole 15 of them with the money you have from the previous mission. Then after that you can buy that couple of healing potions that are in the shop. You would need them. Probably not, but it's always good to go out in a mission with at least one healing potion. Then after that you could use your money to buy a moss arrow or sell back a couple of water arrows and buy another moss arrow. Anyway, in the mission you have enough quantity of moss arrows to complete the mission itself. Now, some people argument that the speed potion is vital for this mission, especially for outrunning the zombies, and if this is the course of action you choose, to run past the zombies instead of fighting them, you can actually do it without a speed potion because they're really slow and they don't pursue you hard enough, so you would need a speed potion. And 500 loot is too much to spend for this mission on a single speed potion. So the mission begins near the entrance to the mines at the bottom of the mountain where Cragscleft is situated. You have to climb up to get to the prison from here. An interesting fact about the mission is, for those of you who played the level, you would know that it's actually quite big if you consider visiting all the areas. But the loot is concentrated only in two sections, which are the mines and the barracks above cell block number 1. There is no loot in the factory section, and there is only a single exception of a secret area where Nemon's body is placed in the prison. I'm going to show you that. From your starting position, you go to this small lake where the only entrance to the mine is. You dive inside, and then you have to swim underwater for some time, and at the bottom of this underwater cave you'll notice your first piece of loot. It's right near the starting area, so don't miss this one. When you swim through the underwater cave, you should know that now you're in the mines and you're walking in haunted areas. From here on there are zombies, but they're actually only active on the 4th final level of the mines. Now here, this scene shows a couple of new enemies. The first one is the zombie. What looks like a corpse on the ground is actually a zombie in dormant state. Don't be fooled, it is just sleeping. When you walk over it, it will rise up and try to kill you. The only way to be certain that a zombie is dead is when his body is shattered to many pieces. When he's lying on the ground like this, he's just sleeping. Above the zombie, there are some insects circling, what we like to call insect swarms. Some people call them buckshots, because the bug beast produces these swarms as projectiles. Now what they do in general is they sting you once you get near them or through them, taking 1 point of health at a time until you eventually die. But this shouldn't be a problem. Once you get near the zombie corpse, you pass through by it on the right side, and you go into this corridor to pick this silver and golden nugget. Now you continue from here west until you reach this crossroad. Now there should be tracks on the ground that are present. If you turn right, you should notice a lying zombie on the ground and some electrical equipment. From this position you go through, but watch out for this sleeping zombie on the ground. It's not there on normal difficulty. It really gave me the freaks the first time I ran through this mission. Past on the left side. He should moan, but he shouldn't get up. Your idea is to get on this elevator. Now at the bottom of the pit there is a spider, which might be alerted once you step on the elevator. It's no problems. He should fall in both, even if he's alerted or not, he should fall by only a couple of arrows. Then you go down. At the bottom of this shaft you'll find a couple of moss arrows. You know, you can always use moss arrows whenever you encounter a metal surface. Back on the 2nd floor, past the zombie, and when we reach this room with the electrical equipment, notice a crack in the wall, actually in the cave cliffs. Go jump inside, and if you've done it quickly enough, that zombie should only moan and wouldn't even be up. In this room, only the two rotting corpses at the other end are real zombies. This one is just a normal corpse. You can carry it around, it wouldn't rise up. Now from here you climb up. You turn left, and our idea is to reach that position. Try to quick save here as it's easy to fall off the ledge. Now here that silver nugget is quite frustrating to get. An easy way to do it is to use the walls to your advantage. Just run and slide on the walls on the other side. Pick it up and you can do it the same thing on the other side. When you climb up and reach this broken wooden bridge on the left side, you climb here at first and then here, and that's it. We've reached the final 4th level of the mines, and the climb wasn't so hard. Now from here on there are active zombies, and by active I mean zombies that are up and patrolling. There's our first zombie. What is interesting about him is that, as you can see, not only he is running around, but there are bees circling around him. If he hits you, the bees would also sting you, then that way he would do you more damage. Now that zombie is on the southern corridor. What I'm going to do is check the west corridor first. The reason I'm doing this is to gather all the zombies to the elevator, so I can kill them with only a single session of water arrows. Once they're near the elevator, I run past them to the south corridor, turn left, and I'm in the old Hammer Chapel. As you can see, even in these narrow corridors, the zombies are quite easy to outrun. What you want to do from here on is go to the fountain, use it, and use the water arrows to kill the zombies. Now all the zombies that have insects around them, once you hit them with the holy water arrow, they would disperse, the insects that is, and they would do you damage if you're close enough. As you can see, zombies require usually only a couple of water arrows. What you want to do from here is use what is left of your seconds to find the 4th zombie. But he is somewhere, apparently not here, and then I go back. There are 4 active zombies on this level of the mines, the 4th level. Now we're back in the Hammerite Chapel. On the eastern wall there is a hole with some loot. Then this fountain. There are 2 kinds of fountains in the Thief universe. One is the holy water fountain, which is this one. The other is a healing fountain, which you would recognize that it's the same but with particles flowing over it. Now you pick the holy water vial, which acts as a mobile holy fountain. Then you go past the altar and you pick some water arrows, but people usually forget that there is another vial of holy water behind this column here. From here you go back to the elevator shaft, go to the western tunnel. Now remember, there are 4 zombies on this level of the mines. I killed 3 of them. If you encounter all 4 of them, it's alright, your holy water should be more than enough. When you reach this factory sign, you turn right and then you stop, because this skeleton is a triggered trap. When you go near him, his skull will launch towards you. Now what you want to do is hug a wall, either wall, and then when you go near him, his skull is just going to fly by you. You follow the rails on the ground. When you reach this position, when you can turn either left or forward, you go forward. Up the stairs, the ladder. Pick this golden and silver nugget, back down, and again on the other side through. Now here, this is the last zombie on the level, so you can waste a holy water vial to kill it. Notice how it took only one arrow to do it, because zombies take more damage when they are on the ground in dormant state instead of patrolling around. Now the Hammerites should probably hear that. Remember, you are now in Hammerite territory. Watch for them. Those hammers stink, really. When you open this metal door, you should use your moss arrows, because there is a Hammerite patrol here. Use them in such a way so you can be always covered by darkness. But apparently he stuck to the wall here. It happens with this Hammerite in particular. Well, you can still blackjack him, and if you close the door behind you, nobody was going to find him. You should know that that Hammerite is not always stuck to the wall. He should be patrolling, and if he is, use the darkness in the room to your advantage and the moss arrows to silence your footsteps. After this elevator, we enter the factory section of the Hammerite facility. We go through it. There is no loot here. When you reach this position, you go where the factory sign is pointing. Now you can stop here for a while and watch hammers being created by the Hammerites, but I'm just going to continue forward. If you hug the wall here, the Hammerites wouldn't hear you walk on this metal surface. If they do, they are only going to mumble. When you reach the third room where the hammers are being created, you should know that this is the final room of the factory, and from here on you enter the prison areas. You can go down the stairs when all the hammers are gone, but what I do is simply jump from this end and go on the corridors. You continue up the stairs until you eventually reach the first checkpoint that leads to the prison areas. Here you crawl down past the guards. Now, the prison itself is divided into 4 cell blocks. Each of the characters we must visit is situated in a different cell block. The first one is Cutty in cell block number 4, then it's Basso in cell block number 3, and I sit in cell block number 1. So you turn left here toward cell blocks number 3 and 4. Then you must kill this torch because there is a camera behind the corner. That tube on the ceiling is a camera. You have to wait for this light to stop and make your run through. Again, here we go towards cell block number 4. Now, the closer you get to the cell blocks, guards are going to be more frequent. This is cell block number 4. You should use the path that the shadow has created on the floor in order to get by. And here is Cutty himself in cell number 6, but in order to speak to him you must unlock the cell. The controls are on the 2nd floor, so you must go up the stairs. All the cell blocks are similar, the controls are on the 2nd floors. When you reach this position on the 2nd floor, you wait for the guard to turn away and you jump from shadow to shadow until you get close enough to lean forward and pickpocket him. This orange key is the master prison key. Most of the guards have it. It's used to unlock doors in the prison area. Now, as you saw, he saw me, but if you blackjack him a second time before he can react, he probably will get unconscious, but sometimes he won't. So you have to watch out for these situations. When you turn your attention towards the cell door's control panel, you'll notice that there are no numbers. You should know that the levers are placed exactly the same way as the cells are placed in the cell block. We know that Cutty is in cell number 6, which is the first one to the left from this position. So you must pull the lowest left lever to open cell number 6. After you do that, you go back to the first floor so you can have your conversation with Cutty. Now once inside his cell, Garrett begins his chatter with Cutty. You should be sure that Garrett is in complete darkness so any patrols that come by won't see him. Apparently Cutty is dying and Garrett won't get his money for the buffer job, but Cutty offers some information in exchange. His associate Felix has a map of the Bonehorde tomb, which is going to be the next mission, and the location of the Horn of Quintus is somewhere in there. Garrett can steal the horn in compensation for the buffer job, and even more. Now, Cutty is dead, and apparently you wouldn't be rescuing him anymore, so the objectives here change. You must now go to the barrack areas and find the evidence box and Felix map. You would, however, still have to rescue Basso, and he's our next objective. So from here you must go to cell block number 3. You should go back to the position from where you entered cell block number 4, and on the right you'll notice a metal door. You apply the orange key here. This room connects all the 4 cell blocks. It's very heavily patrolled, so you should avoid leaving bodies here. This is the door to cell block number 3. And here it is. As you can see, cell block number 3 is symmetrical to number 4. Again, you use the shadows to get by this room. Here is Basso lying on the floor in cell number 4. I can hear a guard behind the corner. Then I ready my blackjack. I stand on the edge of darkness, and when I lean forward, I strike him at the exact moment. Remember, this is very useful when you have no place to hide and the guard is coming towards you. You should lean forward and blackjack him. It's very useful. Onto the second floor. Again, we wait for the guard to turn away so we can run from shadow to shadow. Sometimes the guard is stubborn and he refuses to turn away, but you should be patient. It's part of the game.
Don't hurt me.
It was just the wind.
There's a guy over here. Help me.
Has to suffer.
Don't pay any attention to the prisoners who make a lot of racket. Now again, like in the other cell block, we see that cell number 4, where Basso is the second one to the left on the lower floor, so you must pull this central lever here.
Help. Help.
Then you go back down to the first floor. And here is Basso. He's unconscious, and you would have to carry him out of the prison like you would carry a normal unconscious body. For now, you can leave him here as we have other work in cell block number 1 and the barracks. The reason we came by cell block number 3 is to clear all the guards and open the cell, so when we finish our other objectives we'll just come by and pick Basso on the way out. Now we go back to the room which connects all the cell blocks, and across the room to the door that leads to cell block number 1. This is cell block number 1. Again, we use the shadows here. There is the sign for the barracks, but we have to get to the second floor first because Icet is here and our Hand of Glory. By now you would know the drill here. We wait for the guard to turn away and then run by. Now Icet is on the second floor in cell number 9, which is the second one on the left, I mean on the right. You have to turn the far right second from the bottom lever. And there is him, well, at least what's left of him. You should check his body, and on the right hand, I mean your right, it's his left hand. You should notice that there is your Hand of Glory. Now all that's left to be done is to find the evidence box and Felix map. The box is in the barracks area. I can hear a guard behind the corner. I already taught you how you should take care of such guards. Lean forward and blackjack him. Once you master this skill, it should be quite easy to do it. We killed this torch because there's a Hammerite priest behind the corner. Priests and all sorts of mages are very dangerous at long range, but at close range they're not that tough. Anyway, since we shouldn't kill humans, we just blackjack him. And we continue up the stairs. Now this is the barracks area. The evidence box is in that direction, but before that, go south. Here on the first door to the right there is some loot. On the second door some broadheads. This is the dining area, and in the kitchen there is nothing of such interest except a few water arrows. Now you can always stop for a snack like Garrett mentioned. Check the various foods. I can hear a guard here. Patience is a virtue, as they say. Again, this is the only guarded patrol here in this area. You can leave him down on the floor where he is, and we go to seek the evidence box. Most of the loot is situated in this area. We begin by those two hammers on both sides. Then next to the whole image there are a couple of candle holders. If you look through this small hole, you'll notice that there is a Hammerite apprentice and a priest on the other side of the stained glass. There is also a patrol that will come this way. You should knock him out in order to make your passage more easier. The priest has a silver key. It's used to open the evidence box. It can be gathered from another place more easily. I will show you both places. There is also a golden hammer in that room. What we want to try, since the stairs are very well lit, is to bring them out into the darkness. You can use your noisemaker arrow. If you spend that one, you can use a few broadheads. Now the apprentice is harmless. The priest is the one that you must knock out. If you do that, everything else should be alright. I'm going to get the key from him, but I'll also show you how to get the key from another guard. You get the golden hammer. Oh, and remember, you can always pick up used noisemaker arrows. It's a unique quality that they have. Remember, when you use them after their work is done, you should search for them so you can pick them and use them again. After all the hard work, these are the easiest areas. When you reach this metal hammer, turn right through this metal door. Apply the silver key from the priest here. Then on the left side you should cut this banner with the sword. There is a secret room on the other side. Remember, this is on expert difficulty. If it was on normal, there should be a passage that leads out from here. There is much difference in the maps themselves, not only the objectives. Through the different difficult levels, you go to the other side. Now if you haven't got the silver key, you should lean in this window and wait for the hammer guard to pass by. He should be passing from right to left in order to take the key, because when he goes from left to right, it's on his other side. Anyway, even if you don't see the key itself, if you lean forward and press the use key when he passes by, you should be able to get the key. Now apply a mouse arrow here. You should have at least one. If you don't have, just scroll down or do it fast, and by the time he comes to investigate through the other door, you would be long gone. This is the evidence box that Cutty spoke, but Felix's notes are not inside. Since this is expert difficulty again, if you read this scroll, you should know that Naaman stole, who is an escaped prisoner, stole the evidence box contents, which means Felix notes also, so we must now find Naaman, who is actually in a secret area in the prisons. I'm going to show you, since it's near to the exit. What we do from here on is track back down the stairs all the way to cell block number 1, and from there we would pick Basso on the way out from cell block number 3. And just before we escape from this secret area, here is the apprentice. Oh, he's just screaming around. He's taffing with you. Don't pay any attention. When you exit cell block number 1, oh dear. Again, the same thing with this guard. When you exit cell block number 1, go to the room which connects all the cell blocks, and on to cell block number 3, so we can pick up Basso. Basso is in cell number 4. There he is. Just pick him up. From here, go right out of cell block number 3, down the stairs. We're going towards the checkpoint to cell blocks number 4 and 3. We passed here earlier with the camera on the ceiling. Again, you should wait for the light to turn off, but this time we have Basso on our backs. It should be much difficult because he's just slowing us down. You can leave him on the ground here, and when you look towards the guard at the checkpoint, you should crawl down, and on the right side there should be a small hole here in the wall. which leads to the secret area I spoke about earlier, down into the sewers. And on the other side you would find Namon's dead body. And he also has a silver Cutty evidence box. He has Felix notes.
Won't be needing this anymore.
And there are a few water and moss arrows and what's left of the money. There it is, 1688. All our objectives are done except one. When you crawl back out, watch out for the passing camera patrol. We don't have any flash bombs for this mission, so your main idea is the leaning blackjack skill that guard has. Now, if you look past this guard, behind him there is a switch which leads out. It's the fastest way out. To get Basso to there, try sneaking by on the left side. At first unlocking the door. After that pick up Basso. Again on the left side. Drop him on the ground. Open the door. Pick him up and jump into the water. It's alright, once you do it, once you're in the water, even if they sound the alarm, there is no problem, it's only the way out from here on. You should eventually end up in the mines. On the left here there is a way to get off the water, but there are Hammerite patrols there, so we continue under the water until you reach this second lake, and left again. You should try and get off the water. If it's difficult for you to get out of the water here, you can risk dropping down Basso for a few seconds, and after you made it, get him again. Up the wooden stairs here. Here you reach a position we were earlier. There are some cameras there. Here with that lying zombie there and the stuck Hammerite who was stuck to the wall, you go back the other way. Here is that skeleton that launched his skull, the factory sign, and there is the elevator shaft. Drop Basso on the ground here and call the elevator to the 4th floor, so it would come to you. The idea here is to get to the 3rd floor, where is the way out. From here the mission is pretty much over. Once on the 4th floor, just follow the way. There's only one way that leads to sunlight. And that's it for the mission. We are done.